So if I was able to give people advice what they could do on a daily basis, just as a preventative, but also maybe just to help with the day-to-day stress and struggles of life, is to carve out time that you are just with yourself, It could be on a run, it could be sitting at the lake, it could be sitting just kind of, knitting, it could be drawing, it could be playing the guitar, it could be doing something, but you are with yourself. And the goal of when you're with yourself is that you're allowing thoughts and feelings, things that you're thinking, and feelings, physical feelings, and emotions to come up, right? And I've talked a lot about this, guys. I've talked a lot about this because I've seen how people just really, they don't like to sit with their thoughts. They don't like to sit with their feelings. They don't like what goes on when they're just still with their thoughts. They don't like what goes on physically and emotionally inside when they just sit still and let this stuff come up. Oftentimes people distract themselves by getting on social media. They drink, they drug, they do all kinds of stuff to distract themselves from just allowing themselves to be with themselves, right? They just distract themselves. They don't like for these thoughts and feelings to come up because it's uncomfortable. And really, for me, I think you gotta think these things, you gotta feel these things, so you can deal with them and so you can heal them, right? So you can think, feel, heal, deal, however you want to say it. You gotta be with yourself. I think on a daily basis. And you got to take an inventory of just things in your life on a day-to-day basis. It's like a meeting. You got to have a meeting with yourself on a day-to-day basis, and just kind of work through things. We can stuff things down. We can blame things on certain things of why I'm not taking care of things. We can distract ourselves. We can, overwork. We can do all these things. But really what that is, guys, what we're doing is we're just putting a Band-Aid. We're just putting a Band-Aid on the things in our life that are just not going well. And what we really need to do is we need to rip that Band-Aid off and just go right into them. So if there's something that I could encourage you to do, is just on a daily basis, 30 minutes, y'all. Just take 30 minutes and just be with yourself. Let thoughts, feelings, just let things come up. Just sit with it, work through it, and then just kind of do that on a day-to-day basis. This idea of sitting with yourself, it's not just for adults. I also love doing this with kids. I love doing this with kids during session. I'll get out my phone and I'll just pull it out and I'll be like, okay, we're gonna sit for 1 minute. And when we sit for 1 minute, some kids are able to do it, some kids are not able to do it. Some kids really struggle, and we'll get 15-30 seconds into it and they'll just start getting antsy. And they'll start making noises. And we just kind of talk about that. What that is. Of why are you just kind of like, why can't you sit still? And what we come to find out is like this energy in my body. I don't like that energy. And so I gotta just move around. To keep that energy going, and so I don't feel uncomfortable, right? So I'm doing this to kind of avoid that feeling inside. And for a lot of kids, that starts early in life, and it continues on into adulthood, right? So I really like to take time with kids to really start this. Now, kids do not like this. Adults don't like it. We don't like sitting still for any length of time. It's difficult. It's challenging, right? It's difficult, it's challenging. But what I like to do is just, let's say, okay, well, you can't do it for a minute. Let's go back to 15 seconds. 15 seconds. We'll set for 15 seconds. See if we can sit for 15 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, now we'll do a minute. And we'll just notice what's coming up. The thoughts that are coming up. Oh, I don't like doing this, Randy. I don't like doing this. Oh, this feels uncomfortable. This feels uncomfortable. I want to do this, or I want to grab my phone, or I want to do something outside of me to make me feel better on the inside. I need something on the outside of me to make me feel better on the inside. And that starts early on, y'all. That starts early on, is looking to the outside to make me feel better on the inside. And so we'll just sit. And what I'll do is I'll just teach kids that, you know, all I want you to focus on, put your hands on your lap. And I just want you to focus on your breathing. Just controlled breathing. Just controlled breathing. And that's what we'll do, y'all. That's what we'll do. We'll just focus on breathing, and that's it. And we'll gradually increase the time. We'll gradually increase the time to 1 minute 15 seconds, you know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and we'll just keep going. We'll keep going and going and going. Tough work, y'all. Tough work. It's hard for kids. It's also hard for adults. It's also hard for adults, y'all. Yes, so this looks a lot like meditation. This looks a lot like yoga, some type of centering type exercise, some type of mindfulness exercise. You know, for me, what I find is during my day, I start feeling anxious. I start feeling antsy. I got that movement in my body. For me, I feel smothered when I start to feel anxious. I feel smothered, and for me, I just gotta take some deep breaths. I gotta just sit, and I gotta practice. I gotta sit, and I gotta practice, and I gotta just let these thoughts go through my head. It's a meeting. It's a meeting with myself. It's a meeting with myself. It's a meeting with myself, y'all. It's a meeting with myself. It's tough out there, y'all. It's a jungle. It's a jungle. But this is not a game of you versus the world. This is not a game of you versus the world. It's a game of you versus you, y'all. It's a game of you versus you. What kind of personal skills? What kind of personal skills can you develop? What kind of personal skills can you develop when the world is spinning really, really, really fast? When you're getting ready to go back to school, when there's all these things that are happening around us, what kind of personal skills can you develop? What kind of personal skills can you develop? Some people have more personal skills, right? So they're going to be able to get through a situation easier. Some of us don't have as many personal skills as to be able to manage that stress. It's going to be harder for us, y'all. It's going to be harder for us. I think as a culture, we really downplay just the skills needed for day-to-day life. On track, now we going way up. Don't be used as easy as a layup.